Thank you, President. I'm pleased to be able to speak about the Victorian Auditor-General's report that's been tabled in the Parliament today, delivering the Suburban Rail Loop. And reading it, it's just extraordinary, some of the revelations in this report, some that may not surprise us. They've said the project is more likely than not to exceed its publicly disclosed cost of up to $34.5 billion. And going on the government's track record, we certainly shouldn't be surprised there. Cost blowouts seem to be part of Labor's nature. But also, the report notes that the Commonwealth hasn't given enough, $6 billion. The state wants them to put in $11.5 billion. And really, I kind of think it's like a high five to Albo and there's just no response. But to read from their report, it says the government's strategy to fund the project is not transparent and some funding sources are uncertain. The state does not yet have enough funding approved to sign the contract for the second stations package. The Australian government has publicly committed $6 billion of the expected $11.5 billion. And look, another extraordinary element in this report is certainly the secret tax that's been put on regional fares, regional commuters, the secret 1% fare levy on metropolitan and regional fares. It was decided back in 2021. It was brought in by the Allen Labor government, still the same team that's there now, but Victorians haven't been told about it until now, until this report. But again, to read from the report, it says these measures include a levy on all public transport fares in metropolitan Melbourne and regional Victoria. It has been using this levy to raise revenue since January 2025. And that does frustrate me greatly, because I think the people that have been paying for this suburban rail loop are the people that have been sitting on the floors of V-line trains, that have been travelling on buses, as I have, replacement services, because V-line hasn't been in operation. And as I speak with other passengers, they say it is just a regular part of the system. And like our roads, V-line has been left to crumble. But guess what? They've put a nice little levy, another little tax. This government absolutely loves taxes because they've got a debt that's out of control. Another element that was found in this report that I think we've been aware of, and I know as I speak to people in the housing industry, the government talks very big about the SRL being a housing project and all these extra houses that are going to be built. But the report says, however, these benefits depend on private investors who already face challenging market conditions to buy and develop property. This puts both the project's expected benefits and revenue from new value capture measures at risk, because this value capture has been spruiked by the government quite a lot, saying that's how they're going to pay for this project. But this report shows there's a real question mark over that. Now, another element in this report I think it's important for the public to be aware of is the government made the decision to slow down spending on the project to manage the state's debt levels. And to quote the report, it says, in April 2024, the government directed SRLA to delay spending around $1.4 billion on the project until after the state budget's forward estimates period of 2023 to 28. The government made this decision to manage challenges to the state's finances, and so it goes on. Now, Treasurer Colin Brooks has today acknowledged that the government could have been more transparent about the secret levy built into public transport fares. Now, Premier Ben Carroll was the Minister for Public Transport when the hidden tax was first approved, and his deputy Gabrielle Williams introduced the levy last year when she was Public Transport Minister. Now, Labor may have changed the Premier, but it's certainly the same team, and a future Liberal and Nationals government will stop the waste, end the corruption and pause and review the SRL project and make decisions in the best interests of taxpayers.